Hi friends, welcome to episode 87 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere online as Nnedi. Thank you so much for coming to spend some time with me today. I'm coming to you from my home in Central Florida where we have lucked out and there's no rain today, so you guys get the view of the Spanish moss. Yeah. We don't have any admin or anything to announce at the beginning of the episode. I will give you guys a heads up and an apology. I'm feeling a little bit scatterbrained today, so if I got off topic or like start gazing off into the great beyond, just hopefully I'll be able to edit it out. But if I don't, that's what's going on. My brain's doing some of those special Kalisha things where it's like, meh. Yeah. Let's get going before I melt. Finished objects. The first finished objects I have are my socks for Jason. And both of them are done. There we go. This is the first sock. That's the second sock. You can tell by the difference in the color work. Yeah. There isn't really anything else I want to really say about these socks. These are the socks that I knit in honor of my brother-in-law who recently passed away. If you watched last week's episode, I talked more about like him as a person and his love of music, which is what inspired the motif on these socks. Yeah, so they're finished and I kind of don't want to wear them. That's kind of weird, but I think what I want to do, and this has been running through my head ever since I finished these, because I finished them earlier this week. I kept thinking that I should send them to his partner. So I'm going to reach out to his partner, see what size shoe he wears. From what I remember, like I feel like we're about like the same size humans. Probably not. He's probably taller than me. I don't know. Terrible judge. But I want to give these to him. So hopefully they'll fit. But yeah, so that's been running through my head a lot, like you know, when you get an idea and it just stays there. So I'll be making myself another pair of these and sending these off. But yeah, they're done. Oh, just in case you are wondering and didn't watch last week's episode, this stripey yarn, which is really cool. It's a rainbow stripe with like, I guess, like puffy cloudy sky, cloudy blue sky. This yarn is String Theory. Yes, String Theory Colorworks in the circumhorizontal arc colorway, and then the black is just Deborah Norville Serenity Sock in black. Yes, and that's all she wrote on these. My next finished object was a maker plan last episode, and that is just a testament to how fast this pattern, like how fast you can finish this pattern. This is the Raspberry Cable Beanie by Noma Ndlovu. And yeah, that's it. That's all of my stitch markers because I'm terrible at counting rows in between cable rows, so I use stitch markers to keep it. So that's the pattern. A very simple 2-strand cable. The modifications I did on this, I cast on, somebody's dog is having a breakdown. Someone is having too much fun. But I cast on the 70 stitches that were required in the pattern, and then I increased to 80, I think. Yes, I increased to 80, and then did the pattern from there. I did 2 more cable repeats than specified in the pattern, and then I decreased as written. Fun fact about this: I was so excited to start this pattern that I decided to start on the wrong size needle. The pattern, it's a free pattern on Ravelry. I didn't say that at the beginning, but it's a free pattern, and it calls for a 6mm needle. I didn't have a 6, so I was like, oh, that's fine, I'll just do a 5. I'll do the 5 and go up in my stitch count to even out the gauge. Now, the problem with that, in theory, that's a good idea. The problem was that because I had gone down a stitch, or down 2 needle sizes, up in stitch count, I was using more yarn, and I only had 1 ball of this yarn. This is Knit Picks Brava Chunky, I think. Chunky or bulky, I don't know. I don't remember which one. I think it's chunky. But I only had 1 ball because I got this as a birthday gift last year. So I got probably this far in the first go round. And as I was knitting, every row I knit, I was like, I'm going to run out of yarn. And I just kept knitting. And I was like, Kalisha, you're going to run out of yarn. So I went ahead, I ripped the needles out to stop myself from digging the hole any deeper. And I went to my local yarn shop and I bought the correct size needles and ripped the whole thing out and started over again. Now, the time from starting over to finishing was 2 days. Yeah, I started it over Friday night, and I got maybe this far Friday night. Then I worked on it Sabbath, and I finished it up Sunday. Yeah. So this hat, super, super simple. It fits over my hair, and I don't look like a mushroom. So thumbs up for that. I definitely want to make another one, but I want to make it deeper, because hats like this, I like to wear like a tam. You know what? Let me just show you how I want to wear this hat. Well, okay, so this is one way that I could wear the hat. I prefer not to wear hats like this because I don't know, I just kind of don't like it. When I say I don't look like a mushroom, normally whenever I wear hats like this, it poofs out above the brim like that, and I feel like I look like a mushroom. But I prefer tucking all of my hair into my hats, leaving a little bit out in the front. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Now, this is how I prefer to wear slouchy beanies and hats and stuff. And as you can see, wait, maybe you can't see. That's the end of the hat. That's my hair. So it's not really deep enough for my hair to fit in. So I think that I want to make it, I want to make another one, and I'll probably make it maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 cable repeats longer, just to have that space, because yeah, I mean, it's really cute, right? It's really cute, and I want to wear it, and I really like the color, but of course this color is not available anymore on Knitpicks. But yeah, I might keep this on. We'll see. I might overheat, but it's Florida. I'm always overheating. So yeah, that is the Raspberry Cable Beanie. This is project 5. I think it's project 5 from my Make 9. So yeah, if you're looking for a really easy cabled beanie pattern, this is like excellent for gift knits. Yeah, throw that on. I might actually give this to my brother Andrew, because he can wear it like, you know, like a beanie, like I had it first, because he's got much longer locks than me. His are about like that long. But with them straight down and with the weight that he has on his locks, like because of the length, they hang closer to his head, so he could wear this as like a regular beanie. So I might give this to him. I don't know. I'll send him a picture and see if he wants it. But yeah, I feel fancy, and I really like this color. It's called Hunter. It's beautiful. I really, really like this color. Knitpicks, restock it. Okay guys, I can't do this, too hot. Whew. Am I gonna leave my hair out? We're just gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with it. The other finished object, I guess this is just gonna be like a work in progress to see how it morphs over its lifespan. But as you guys saw earlier, the mermaid lock has gotten recolored. So that's what it looks like now. I wrapped it with wool from the gradient set, not the gradient set, the gradient roving that I got from Evelyn. I took some off of it and wrapped it around my mermaid lock because it was like all the same colors. I finished that yarn. I'm going to show it to you later. But yeah, I really like it. Someone on Instagram, and I need to respond to that comment because I responded in my head, but I never typed it down. Does anybody else do that? I do that all the time. Like, I'll read a text message and then I'll think the response, but I never actually text the person back. But on Instagram, because I showed the whole process of wrapping it and everything, someone asked, would this be a good way of starting your locks? I would not recommend this. Like, if you're thinking about starting locks, I wouldn't recommend starting like this, because essentially what this is like a layer of felt over top of your lock, and this would make it very hard to get like any buildup out, you know, like, and then I feel like it would keep too much moisture in if you did your whole head. This is definitely something that I would say, like, oh, like an accent lock, like I have 1 or 2, something like that. And then when I go to wash my hair and retwist it, I'm going to spend extra time making sure to get all of the shampoo, any product out of this. Like, it's gonna take extra time to make sure that this stays clean. So I can definitely imagine if you do your whole head like that, it's gonna be too much. Do not recommend. Yeah. So yeah, this was really fun to do. So, on to works in progress. This is just dripping all over me. This was full of ice when I first came out here. I've only been out here for like maybe 30 minutes, and there's most of the ice is gone. Thank you, Florida. Works in progress. I only have one. Wow, I really do only have one work in progress. Who am I? And it's not even a work in progress. It's a swatch. So last week I mentioned that I wanted to participate in the Summer Romance Cal, which is a knit and crochet along hosted by Claudia of Crochet Luna and Clarissa Beth of Crochet Cakes. And this year's theme is Opposites Attract. I had mentioned that I wanted to do my project based on two characters from Children of Blood and Bone, which is a book by Tommy Adeyemi. And the two characters that I am basing this project on are Zahrah and Inan. I've doodled up my idea, and this is it right here. So it's going to be like a wrap, I think, and we're gonna see. This is the plan. We'll see if I'm actually able to create this, but these are the colors. There's blue, like this top section is Inan section, blue, tan, black and white, and then blue again. The bottom section is Zahrah, which is black, white, silver, and then black again. And each one of those colors refers to a specific aspect of each one of the characters. So that's definitely biting me. Just got bitten by an ant, y'all. Joy. This is my swatch. This technique is my crochet brioche technique that is in my puppy love shawl. When I first came up with the puppy love shawl, it was like when two color brioche knitting was like all the rage, and I kept looking at it and thinking like there has to be a way to evoke this same idea but with crochet. And there have been other people who have techniques for crochet brioche, or brioche as they call it. But what I was finding is that most of those techniques create like the look of brioche on one side, but the back side is different. So I wanted to have where when you have two color brioche, it's reversible. I wanted to have that same idea with crochet. So I basically broke it down to a rib, which brioche is basically a type of ribbing, to where you have your color 1 on one side and then color 2 on the other side. So I did my swatching, and you can see better on this side. This portion I did with a 6mm crochet hook, and then this portion, where's my finger? This portion I did with an 8mm. And you can see how there's much more space in the 8. The 6 is more like compact and like firm, but I like the softness that all the space in the 8 gives. So I think I'm gonna work this up on an 8. And this yarn is Vanish Choice by Lion Brand. So it's just like a worsted weight acrylic yarn. And I have most of the colors that I need for my design idea. Most of the colors were already in stash. So I'm pretty excited about that. The only color I don't have in stash is the tan. But I have this, which I think this is a Red Heart. So, it'll work. So I'm going to be measuring from my swatch to see how big I can make this like wrap shawl type deal with what I have. Because if I can make this whole thing without purchasing any new yarn, I think that would be awesome. And that's the only thing under maker plans, or no, works in progress. it's like a work in progress slash maker plan. The other maker plan that I have, and this is one that like transitions us into stash positions as well, is I want to make an amigurumi stuffed animal, like maybe a teddy bear or a bunny or something small and cuddly, because I went to Hobby Lobby and they had / are having a big like clear out of a lot of products, and I was able to get a couple things on clearance, and like they were doing like deep clearancing, like some things were like 99 cents, you know. One of these things of yarn that I got, I think it's regularly $10. I got it for like $2.50. But yeah, I found these two, and as soon as I saw them, I was like, this obviously has to be a toy. So there's this one, which is the Yarn Bee Fur Ever style in taupe. So a nice little fuzzy yarn. Look at that. This has to be a toy, right? Like, this would be so adorable as a little handmade like teddy bear with like floppy arms, right? And then this one is Lion Brand Baby Soft Boucle. It's the same color, but just like a different texture. So yeah, each one of these was $4.99 originally, and went on clearance for $1.24. And I got 3 balls of the Forever style, and I think just one of the baby soft boucle. But yeah, what color is this? Tan. Good job. So I definitely want to make some sort of stuffed animal out of those. I'll probably do like one small stuffed animal out of the boucle, and then a larger one out of the Forever style, since I have 3 of them. But we'll see how that goes. I saw them and I was just like, oh, so cute. But the other thing I have for stash acquisitions are, I have this. Now this is the one that was $9.99, but I got it on sale for $2.50 or $2.49. This is Yarn Bee Showstopper, and it's basically one of those like roving yarns, like for making like the big arm knit blankets or whatever. And this colorway is cedar. But I really like when I saw that, I was like, oh, so what you're saying is I can spin this on my spinning wheel, right? So I'm going to be using this to like practice different like spinning techniques, different plying techniques that, I don't know, like I don't want to ruin like the like fiber, like the natural fiber. If I can practice doing like beehives and chain plying with this like cheapy acrylic, then I can get like the motions and stuff down, so that when I go to do it on my wool yarns and like animal fibers that are more expensive than this, I will be more competent in the techniques. So that's what this is. And I also got this one. It's another Yarn Bee, and it's called Twirl-tastic, and the colorway was coral and teal. I've already broken this one down. Oh, this was $7.99. I got on sale for $1.99. But essentially, this was this kind of, again, like loose roving, but there were 3 plies of it, and they were like loosely plied together to make like a jumbo yarn. The finished yarn, how about I do it like this? It was about that thick, the finished yarn. But when I saw it, I was like, okay, another spinning practice fiber. So I got one skein of it. I pulled them all apart and then started like trying to figure out how I wanted to do like the color management. So the first ply, the first ply, I laid out the whole strand and then like folded it so that the colorways matched. Yeah, so that, not the colorways, the color repeat matched. And then I broke it so that I had 3 complete like color repeats. And this is that one. So it goes from the coral through the teal. The dark blue portion right here is like it's less blue and more gray. Like on screen I think it's coming up as navy, but it's more gray, like gray blue in real life. Then back through the coral, the teal, and then the gray blue again. So I have 3 of those. Hello? Can you guys get it together? So we've got 3 of those. And what I think I'm going to do with this one, I think I'm going to, actually I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to spin these end to end and then 2-ply it back on itself, or if I'm going to spin them each individually and try a 3-ply. I don't know. We haven't gotten that far in the idea of this yet. But yeah, and this fiber is acrylic and polyester. What is the percentage? 55% polyester, 45% acrylic. And the showstopper is, oh, this has wool in it. The showstopper is 50% acrylic, 35% polyamide, 15% wool. So there's 1. 2 is just the 1-ply that I untwisted. So I haven't done anything to this one. I'm not sure how I'm going to treat this one for spinning either. And then 3 is just the blues and bluish gray. So I went through and I picked out, that's what this pile of stuff is. I picked out all of the coral, all the coral pieces, and I kept the blues. So I have like a nice little gradient here. So maybe this one will be my 3-ply, or not 3-ply, my chain ply practice. So I'll see if I can spin this out as thin as I can get it and then practice doing a chain ply. Yeah. So there's like a whole lot of practice and learning that I can do just on these before I attack those good fibers that I showed you guys last week. So yeah, and then I have these, which are like all the corally bits and like the pieces that go from like the light teal into the coral. So I might just grab this and just spin it as it comes out of the bag. And yeah, I'll have like a, I don't even know what this is gonna look like. Maybe I'll make this into Rolex. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make this into Rolex and then spin it that way. So we've got a bunch of different preparations over there, some different plans and ideas, lots of learning that I'm gonna be doing before I jump into spinning like the nice fibers that I have now in my stash. That's everything for Stashquisitions. Now we'll go into Kalisha and the Babe, which we basically were in Kalisha and the Babe and talking about this acrylic fiber plan. But that is also going to be one of my projects for Tour de Fleece. Again with the lawnmower. So Tour de Fleece, I believe, runs from July 6th to the 28th, and you're basically spinning alongside of Tour de France. And two of my Instagram friends are also participating in Tour de Fleece, and I feel like we have a little teeny tiny team on Instagram. Mars, Hey Brownberry, Bree, Stitchzilla, and yeah, I'm excited to participate in this. I'm just excited, and I am in the sun. Where can I move to not be in the sun? Oh well, we're almost done. Yes. So, participating in Tour de Fleece, excited about it. I'm going to be like disciplined and not start my Tour de Fleece plans until the tour starts. I'm gonna be good. It's only a week from now, so there's that. But I have a finished object for spinning, and I'm so excited. Wha-bam! Look at that beautiful spin footage. Yes, you are beautiful. You are gorgeous. Oh, the world is a better place with you in it. Yes, this is my fractal spin. Like, this makes me smile so much I cannot help it. So basically what you do to create a fractal yarn is it's a 2-ply. One of the plies, this was a gradient. I'll put up a picture of the gradient. I believe I have one on here. But one of the plies is the gradient spun completely through one end to another. The second ply is half of your original fiber, and you split it down to smaller sections. And each one of those sections you spin end to end from top to bottom like that. And what that does is it creates a whole lot of barber poling, which is like this. Side note, this really reminds me of the Joker. So like, this whole yarn is very much Jokery to me. Like Batman Joker, just in case you don't know who I'm talking about. I might just call this Why So Serious. But what that does is it creates a lot of barber poling, but it also gives for these sections where the colors line up. So you have like that one. Where's the blue? The bluey purple. And then there's magenta in here as well somewhere. But yeah, and like all the green is on the outside because of the way I wrapped it on here, but there's purple and magenta. Yeah. Look at that beauteousness. Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of myself, y'all. I haven't soaked this yet, and I also haven't counted my wraps. My Nnedi, which is this white contraption, is 2 yards. So one full wrap around the Nnedi is a 2-yard distance. But yeah, so very excited. So proud. There are some parts on here where they're like very much overspun. Like, it's not going to focus, but you see those little bumpy bits? That is because my green strand was overspun and I wasn't able to straighten that twist out before like it applied together. But I think I did pretty good. I think I did a good job. This is also the fiber that's in here. Just bash my self in the head with the Nnedi. It's okay. We're good. This is the same fiber that's in my mermaid lock now. But yes, I have one more bag of this. It's 135 ounces, I think. So the second one, I want to do a full gradient, just end to end, two strand twisted, 2-ply. So I'll split it in half, and then I'll spin from like the green section all the way to the pink section on both of them, and then ply them together. And hopefully I can do that like consistently enough that I won't have too much barber pulling between the color changes, and then I'll have like a gradient, like a full gradient like this. So there's that. Now, oh, I guess I shouldn't have put this down yet. There is a spin and make along being hosted by Mina of the Knitting Expat and Grace of Babel's Traveling Yarn, and I want to participate in it. I've been doing a lot of the spinning part, but the making part has been like a little bit, I don't know what I want to do, because all of the fibers that I've spun so far have turned out to be quite prickly, and I don't know how I want to use them. I definitely am going to, so maybe I'll do something with weaving or something else, but it's not next to skin for me. My skin is like, nah bruh. But one of the fibers that I spun is this. This is Willamette. I think that's how you say it. Willamette fiber from Youthful Farm and Fiber. Youthful. It's on the screen. But this is 1.9 ounces, is about 128 yards. Oh, I wrote it right here. Youthful Fiber Farm and Mill. That's who this is from. But I think I want to put these together, like bring them out of the sun. So I have like all like the crazy color and then something nice and neutral. So I have like more yardage, one that will give me like more space to do something with. But yeah, I'm excited to make something out of these. So this one is gonna go get a bath, a nice little soak. I'm gonna count the yards and see what I'm working with. Very excited. And that's everything for Kalisha and the Babe. We'll go into life and whatnot, which there isn't a whole lot of different stuff going on in life, but I have started reading a lot more. Like, since listening to the audiobook, The Children of Blood and Bone, I actually went out to a coffee shop with one of my friends who read the book like last year, and we were talking about it, and it just made me kind of excited, like to read more, and also to like read and be able to discuss the books with, you know, my friends or whatever. So when I wrote my notes, I was like halfway through this book, but I have since finished it. I just finished Zahrah the Windseeker by Nnedi Okorafor, and she's also the author who wrote the Beanie series, which I loved. This book, Zahrah the Windseeker, it was really fantastic in the way that it's not set on Earth. It's very similar planet to Earth, but there's I want to call it like biotechnology. So like all of their technology is born from plants. And like one of the cool things that the main character Zahrah talks about in the book is her computer, how she raised her computer from a CPU seed, and as it's growing, it like grows and develops and learns her as a person. It tailors itself to her, so it fits perfectly, you know, on her lap. It's tuned into her in that way. And I thought that was like a really cool concept. Of course, because this is a planet that is not, it's Earth-like, but not Earth. The people on it are, like, the people on it are essentially human. Except for people like Zahrah, who are called Dada. And you know a Dada person because they are born with locks, and in their locks are vines that grow like within their locks. And these type of people are said to either grow up to be very wise or rebellious. So essentially in the book, Zahrah has to go on this epic journey into the forbidden jungle to save her friend. And she's the only person that can complete this journey. And the majority of the book is her time in this jungle and her learning things about herself and like growing and developing as a person and learning to accept herself and her differences. And man, there was this one thing that she says in the book, and it's not even like a main thing, it's just something that she mentions, but because she's the only Dada person in her community, she's always teased. Like the other girls in her class are always bullying her and talking about her and calling her names because of her hair, because she's different, and people in the community kind of tiptoe around her because they don't understand her differences, and it makes her feel like, you know how that feels when people treat you differently because of how you look, right? So one of the things that she said was how when the other girls in her class are teasing her, they would call her things like swamp witch, and she would say she would say to herself, like, I mean, the words don't hurt, right? But it's like a pinch, and even a small pinch over and over again in the same spot is very painful. And I was like, that is the experience of like Black and Indigenous people of color, right? A lot of times it doesn't have to be like a blatantly racist slur that is thrown at you, right? It can be something small, like I tell you my name is Kalisha, and you say like, oh, you know, do you have a nickname? Or I'm just gonna call you. Or you completely disregard that and say you're gonna call me Jessica, which by the way has happened to me. Like that itself isn't like a stab to my heart, but it's like a pinch. And when you are experiencing these things regularly, that pinch in that same spot can be very painful. You know, you end up like bruising or getting a thick skin in that spot where that same injury has just happened over and over again. And I was just, in reading it, like when she mentions things like that, it's just like, wow. Yeah. So I definitely recommend it. One, because it's an amazing book, and I flew through this book. I've not read a book that fast in so long. But 2, because of the way that she grows in learning and accepting herself. 3, because of the way that you see people around her learning to not necessarily accept her differences, because when she comes back to her community, it's still the same community. You know, there's still people who look at her and see her appearance and make judgments based on those. But the difference of that self-acceptance that she has. And I also recommend it if you are a fan of world building, because Nnedi Okorafor created like everything. Just in listening, or not listening because I was reading it, but reading about all the different animals and plants that Zahrah interacts with in this forbidden jungle, and knowing that, and trying to imagine what these things look like and what they are, was so much fun. So yeah, Zahrah the Windseeker, Nnedi Okorafor, 2 thumbs up. Definitely enjoyed it. Recommend. You're welcome. Yeah, and another thing going along the lines of reading, I downloaded this app called Hoopla, Hoopla, and it's connected to my local library. I don't know how many libraries use this particular app, but it's similar to the Overdrive app, where it allows you to check out like digital books, CDs, movies, stuff like that, audiobooks, and one of the functions on it is whenever you click on an author, it gives you like a little bio of that author, and then it gives you a list of similar authors. So one day I literally fell down a rabbit hole of different Black authors, which was so awesome for me, especially getting back into reading and like wanting to consume media that's put out by other Black people, put out by other Indigenous people and people of color, and having that option to be able to click on Nnedi Okorafor, right? And then it shows like 10 different authors that are similar to her writing style. Now, they're not all Black, of course, but there's quite a few of them that are. And it was delightful for me to be able to step into this new space. And I have quite the summer reading list now, but I'm really excited about that. So, now that the wind is picking up, I'm going to end it here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here and for being a part of my universe. I hope that you really enjoy the things that you put in your hands to do. And yeah, it took me a while to respond to last week's comments on last week's episode. I do apologize for that, but in the comments, people were sharing their positive moments and bright spots. Someone shared that their bright spot is their granddaughter, and they were saying how they're so grateful that they've been blessed enough to live long enough to meet her and to interact with her, and that's definitely a blessing. Someone else shared that after a long struggle with their mental health, their husband and children's father was able to come out of that and spend more time with the family, and they were able to make new memories. So that's a wonderful thing. People are sharing the things that they find joy in, the things that make them smile. And someone even said that they are going through the comments and reading other people's positive moments, and that's what I want you guys to do, right? I want you guys to celebrate with each other. Like, If you see someone who's mentioned a positive moment that happened to them, leave them a comment. Like, have that conversation where we're sharing these positive things, because, you know, as we see regularly in the news and in social media, there's so much negativity around, y'all. And it's so easy for the negativity to spread and for sadness to spread, and it creeps up in a way that you don't realize until it's right over your shoulder. And it seems like positivity doesn't move in that same way. We have to share it. Like, we have to make that decision to be a force for positivity and be a force for kindness and love and goodness, right? Like, we have to make the active choice to radiate these things and to celebrate these things. So leave a comment down below of something positive that happened to you, or a bright spot, or something that brings you joy, and let's celebrate the positivity. Thanks for being part of my universe, guys.